Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Teens Talk Movie News. We are teenager-ins, and we talk movie news. I am your host, Trevor, and with me, as always, we have my co-host, Atticus. Atticus, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
I am doing just fine. Should we pretend like this is the first time we're seeing each other today? And like,
Yes.
hey, how are you? How are you? Okay. So
Yes.
we are going to ignore that we were talking for the past 45 minutes.
Yes.
Cool. So we're going to ignore that. Yeah, how are you doing today, Addy?
I'm doing pretty good. How was your Easter?
It was fine. You know, that dates the episode, though, because they won't be hearing this today, because editing.
Right. Anyways, cool.
Cool. This is your first time hearing the intro music.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah. We had it on the show with Thomas, and that was a trick because that means that you didn't listen to the show last week that you were not on.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Right. Anyways. Anyways, not a big podcast fan, you know what I'm saying? I'm kidding.
Yeah. Before we get started, yes, Thomas could not make it this week. I'm trading co-hosts back and forth. But Atticus, thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier last week, episode 2. So not this week's episode, but since you didn't get to talk about last week's on the show, just brief, like 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Let me try to remember what happened. It was the
U.S. Agent. There was the fight on the trucks.
right.
Bucky and Sam fought on the trucks, and then U.S. Agent came, and then they were like, we hate you, and then they left. And
yeah, that was. I thought that was an interesting episode. That was definitely my favorite one. But now the third one is my favorite one. So.
Agreed. But we will be getting into Falcon and Winter Soldier spoilers later in the show, as well as we had 3 big trailers drop this week. Like I said, we're recording this on Sunday, but with Saturday news, so I know there's like a new Black Widow trailer, a new Space Jam trailer, a new Suicide Squad trailer. Lots of new trailers. We'll be covering all of those next week. Just because they just came out yesterday. We didn't have time to prepare on them. I only do like Saturday through Friday is when I cover the news, and that's like kind of the cycle I go on. Just to have time to prepare. But we got lots of amazing news this week. 3 trailers, as well as a show review for Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3, and a movie review. We had Godzilla versus Kong. Also, Thomas sent in his thoughts on the trailers on Falcon and Winter Soldier and Godzilla vs. Kong, so we'll get to hear from him a little bit later on in the show. But Atticus, you want to kick off with some news?
Some news. I am ready.
Okay. We got some casting news for Obi-Wan, as well as when they're starting production. So they're starting production this month in April. They're starting production this month. We're getting the show next month, I'm assuming. But we got some casting news. The major of that is Joel Edgerton and Bonnie P.S. are returning as Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. So they played the characters in Star Wars: The Revenge of the Sith. Are you excited to see them back? And does this mean that we see young Luke Skywalker?
Oh, that'd be honestly awesome to see young Skywalker. I don't know who they cast as young Skywalker.
One of the kids who played Tommy or Billy from WandaVision.
Ooh. Is that confirmed or is that a theory?
No, that's just my personal theory.
Oh, okay. That'd be dope though. That'd be dope. Yeah, I think I haven't seen Revenge of the Sith in like a little while,
Yeah.
So I haven't.
I thought you were just gonna say I haven't seen Revenge of the Sith, and that would have been disappointing.
No, I haven't seen it in a little while.
Got it.
But I should look them up and see if like what they look like. Cause I don't know.
No, I'm definitely happy to see them back. We also other like casting news. We got Kumail Nanjiani was cast in the show, which is really cool. We also got this I can't remember the name. This younger like Australian actress who people are saying could potentially be Ahsoka Tano in flashbacks to the Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
Like playing young Ahsoka. Yeah. Because Hayden Christensen was second build it was Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, then Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. So that makes me think, like, if he's just going to be in the Darth Vader suit, that doesn't make me think that he's just going to be in there
Right.
as Darth Vader. I think we're going to get like live action Clone Wars flashbacks.
Ooh. I've wanted to have that for so long.
I know.
Just fell in love with the animated Clone Wars series, and just
It's
if
the
that was
best.
made into like live action, that'd be so awesome.
For sure. Yeah. Speaking of Clone Wars, we got its successor, the Bad Batch, that we will be talking more about later in the show.
I'm excited to talk about the Bad Batch. I remember I believe they were at the end of season 7, right?
Yes.
They were in season 7.
Yes, they were.
So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that.
For sure. Also, could you see Kumail Nanjiani voicing a droid?
I can. I really can. I only know him from The Big Sick, like a romantic comedy, and then the Ninjago movie.
Oh, he was also in
movie.
Wasn't he also in oh crap, what's the thing he did with Dave Bautista? Where it's like the rideshare driver.
Yeah.
He was really good in that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I
can't remember what it's called.
I feel like it's called like Uber Driver or something.
It's something with Uber, but it's not like MacGuber.
Yeah, something like that.
Man, I can't remember what that is. Well, you're checking that out. Let's continue on with the news. Overall, though, Stuber.
Yes.
Stuber. That's what it was. Okay, Stuber. Now that we have that off of our chests, let's move on. We got some Transformers news to talk about. Everybody's favorite film franchise.
Nope.
But this is some interesting stuff. So we are getting another Transformers standalone film. But this is unrelated to Bumblebee 2.
Oh.
It's unrelated to Josh Cooley, the director of Toy Story 4, his animated prequel. And it's unrelated to Transformers 6.
Interesting.
So we're getting another standalone Transformers movie. So for the Transformers future slate, we have Transformers 6, you have Bumblebee 2, and an animated prequel directed by the Josh Cooley, director of Toy Story 4.
Interesting.
So and then now we have this. It's just a standalone. It's its own thing, and that's really the only information we have about it.
Interesting.
So, does this future slate make you excited for the future of Transformers? Because Bumblebee wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I thought that's one of my favorite Transformers movies. But yeah, I just recently watched like their most recent
the last night
or whatever. Yeah,
and
it was shot so weird. It kept going to like a widescreen and then like a full screen, and I just hated that so much.
Here's the thing, though. Michael Bay won't be directing these.
Okay, good, because there was also a bunch of military propaganda, and I was like, this is kind of iffy. Yeah, so I did not like it at all.
So I mean, the Transformers franchise has always not been great.
Right.
But this, I mean, it makes me excited for the future of Transformers, that we're getting something new.
Yeah. Okay. It may just be you, but
so speaking of Transformers, we got news on Transformers 6. So, like I said, Michael Bay isn't returning. Stephen Caple Jr. will direct Transformers 6. He is the director of Creed 2. So we have the director of Creed 2 will be directing Transformers 6, Stephen Caple Jr. So I know you're a big fan of the Creed films.
Yes.
Does this make you more excited for Transformers 6?
Yes, because there was a lot of storytelling behind the way that he directed Creed 2, and Creed 2 is, I think, my favorite out of those two movies.
Right.
So
Um,
I am excited now.
I'm excited again to see something new, and we also have the star of the film is going to be Anthony Ramos of
Huh.
Hamilton, and he's also going to be in The Heights coming up this
Yes.
summer.
Yes.
So Anthony Ramos, super excited to see him doing more stuff. And so this is essentially it's Transformers 6, but it essentially just seems like a retall of the franchise. Like I said,
Huh.
it seems like they're going in a new direction. New director with Stephen Cable Jr., new star with Anthony Ramos, and then you also have like Bumblebee 2. You have the animated prequel. I have no clue what they're doing with the standalone Transformers film, and I'm not super well versed in Transformers, so I don't
Yeah.
have too much of an opinion on what they should do with it. But if they are going in a new direction, sure.
That'd be so cool if they did like an Optimus Prime standalone movie, like an origin story on,
Similar to Bumblebee.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think that's maybe what we could so would that be on Cybertron?
Well, yeah, that's
Eventually?
what I think would be really cool, but that would just be all CGI and stuff like that.
Well, the animated prequel from Josh Cooley, I think is supposed to take place on Cybertron.
Oh, huh. Then maybe they might not do that. Maybe they will. I don't know.
I know, but then you have the standalone movie is going to be we don't know what it's going to be, but yeah, Optimus Prime could be interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of places they could take this.
Yes. Or even
Moving on, we
Megatron.
got
That'd be cool.
yeah. Moving on, we got some Thor: Love and Thunder news.
Yes.
Russell Crowe has been cast in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Huh.
Obviously in the DCEU as Jor-El, Superman's father.
Yes.
Amongst many other things. I mean, Gladiator's a really famous role for him. How do you feel about Russell Crowe in here? And what would you like? Who do you want to see him play? Because I have my theories, which I will share.
Huh. I mean, he was okay, I guess, in the dramatic role in Man of Steel. Um, but anything else, I like haven't seen anything else with him that I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not completely sure on like who he would be.
So here's my idea. So you know how in Thor Ragnarok we got the stage retelling of Thor: The Dark World, and like
Yeah.
Matt Damon was Loki.
Yeah.
So Taika Waititi has said that they're doing that again,
Oh, really?
except it's going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder, and it's going to be a stage retelling of Thor Ragnarok.
Wow.
So Sam Neill is going to be playing Odin again in stage play. Matt Damon's going to be Loki again in the stage play.
Nice.
And then I believe it was Luke Hemsworth played Thor, Chris Hemsworth's brother.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not Sandra Bullock. Melissa McCarthy is going to be Hela in the stage play.
That'll be hilarious.
My guess is that Russell Crowe is going to be the Grandmaster in the stage play.
Ooh.
Retelling of Thor Ragnarok.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
That is my theory. I have to
funny.
assume he joined that stacked like stage play retelling cast.
Yeah.
I don't know who else he would play other than Grandmaster. We still need our Valkyrie for the stage retelling. Obviously, Russell Crowe is not going to be Valkyrie.
I mean, he could have won to. You know, it's 2021.
I see where you're go. No. Just gonna shoot that down now. No. But that's my guess at this point. I mean, I've seen people throw around like maybe he's like Odin's brother or whatever, but I'd much rather see him in like a fun small role like this.
Yeah. Right.
Do you have any other thoughts or on Russell Crowe joining the cast?
I'm just gonna go with your theory and be like, yeah, I think that would be a great role for him. Be interesting. But I don't think anybody else could play the Grandmaster besides him. Besides Jeff Goldblum.
But this is a stage retelling.
Right, I know.
It's parody. It's
Right.
parody, my friend. It's parody. Story number 5 here today. We got a new film announced on the Amazon Prime slate. So I know we had on last week's show. Atticus wouldn't know because he didn't listen to it, but they are remaking or rebooting or creating a sequel to Ace Ventura. Jim Carrey's coming back. Writers of Sonic the Hedgehog are going to be in the lead of it. And Amazon Prime, they've been rolling out the comedies. They had Borat subsequent movie film, an Oscar nominated film, for both adapted screenplay, and Maria Bakalova for best supporting actress. Then they had Coming to America, coming number 2 America, that just came out last month. So
I haven't seen it yet.
Jermaine Fowler, who stars in Coming to America, will be in a new Amazon Prime spy comedy called the USPS, following the United States Postal Service. So here is the plot synopsis they put out.
Huh.
The story follows Michael Griffiths, Jermaine Fowler's character, whose life is upended when his mother is killed in the line of duty as a postal carrier with a mail route full of surprises. He soon discovers that his mother was part of a covert, highly trained spy organization that hides in plain sight, the United States Postal Service.
That's hilarious.
So this essentially just seems like Kingsman, but the Postal Service.
Yeah.
This is literally what this is.
Right. Oh my god. That sounds hilarious though.
Hey, I'll watch it.
Same.
It sounds fun. It sounds enjoyable. And I mean, Jermaine Fowler, I'm excited to see what he does next.
Same.
But yeah, we don't have any release date on this film yet, but I'd assume it seems like, I mean, script is all done, it seems, and it looks like they're going to start shooting soon. So I'd assume we get it later, like towards the very end of this year or early next year.
Yeah.
Depending on how quick they're able to shoot it.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks like a fun time. So Godzilla vs. Kong director Adam Wingard had his next project announced. And it will be a Thundercats movie.
Oh.
Based on the TV show Thundercats. So, Atticus, I know nothing about Thundercats. Do you?
No.
You do not.
Wait. Hold on.
Would you like me to read to you about Thundercats?
Oh, no. I've heard about Thundercats. I've watched this show.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. I've seen this a couple times, but I don't, remember a lot of it because that was when I was younger. But...
So it's supposedly like a classic 80s show.
Yeah.
But here's what here is what we know so far. First of all, it's going to be dark and like on an epic like Lord of the Rings style scale.
Huh. Interesting.
And the Thundercats won't look like cats, like the movie Cats.
Ooh, that's a good direction.
So here's like a synopsis. Here's like a synopsis of the show. The inhabitants of the planet Thundera evacuate just before it is destroyed. They are pursued by a band of mutants. All but one of their escape ships. Oh, that's rough grammar. Was destroyed. All but one of their escape ships was destroyed. Oh, actually, that makes sense, and I just read it dumb. Only a small group of the Thundercats remained. With only half-engine power, the group, which was led by Jaga, had to set course for the nearest planet. Jaga commanded their ship while the other 7 were in their stasis tubes. Jaga died on the journey to the third Earth, and their ship crashed there. Soon they made friends with various groups in the area, and they designed a new fortress. Mung-Ra, the centuries-old embodiment of evil, along with the mutants that destroyed the rest of the Thunderans, are a constant threat. But Lion-O, the new leader of the Thundercats, with his weapon Sword of Omens, will help the Thundercats to have a standing chance.
That was interesting. I don't remember any of those names or any of those characters.
So, I mean, it's a fantasy sci-fi film that they'll probably try and turn into a franchise if it does well.
Yeah.
This is not new. It's rebooting a classic 80s thing. That is also not new. I mean, sounds cool. I love fantasy sci-fi stuff, so like,
yeah, same.
Sure, I'll see it.
I'd probably watch it.
Huh?
I'd probably watch it.
Yeah. I mean, we'd probably have to for the podcast anyways. Also, Adam Wingard, without getting into any kind of spoilers, because we'll do spoilers later in the show for Godzilla vs. Kong, but I really enjoyed his direction of Godzilla vs Kong. He really knows how to direct action, which
Yes.
feels like it's going to be important for Thundercats.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm very curious to see where they go once we get the trailer, because I'm skeptical on the design, how you're going to make this work.
Yeah. I hope. I'm glad that they're not making him look like cats. That'd be
right. But how else are you gonna do it? Like,
yeah.
what do you? I don't know.
Trust
but
the
we
process.
will. I do not. We got some release date news. The Black Adam has officially received a release date. We got news last week that Pierce Brosnan is going to play Dr. Fate in Black Adam.
Huh.
That's
the golden helmet doctor, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Atticus wouldn't know that because he didn't even listen to the show, or from what it seems like, look at the document I sent him.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're a great co-host.
Yeah, I know. We've been doing this for like what, 2 years? We're nearing on 2 years since we started. Right. Obviously, we've switched feeds. We were on another one. You can go find when our voices were like this and we were talking. But
that's the main reason why I don't listen.
Yeah,
my voice.
Yeah. It was unfortunate. Anyways, we've been doing this for a while now, and you still don't know how to read. So, but Black Adam got its release date July 29th, 2022. They're obviously positioning this in a summer blockbuster position, but interesting because that is the same release date as Indiana Jones 5.
Ooh.
So they are challenging, it seems like they are challenging Disney with Indiana Jones 5. Warner Brothers, HBO Max, they're shooting their shot. They think that Black Adam can contend with Indiana Jones 5. Here's the thing, though. I think it can, because who's playing Black Adam?
The Rock.
The Rock. What does The Rock do?
Bring in the money.
He brings in the money. Mm-hmm. I think that this could really pay off for them. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple weeks we see Disney get scared and move Indiana Jones 5.
Ooh.
I really wouldn't be surprised.
Has there been some stuff come out about Indiana Jones 5?
All we know is it's not going to be directed by Spielberg. He's going to be an executive producer, but James Mangold, director of Logan and Ford vs. Ferrari, is going to direct it.
So,
which, I mean, Logan's great. So like I'll go see like a Logan style Indiana Jones movie about Indiana Jones like on his last mission.
Yes. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I guess Brad Pitt's gonna be in it as well. But very excited that James Mangold's gonna be directing. Now, obviously, Spielberg's great. But not Kingdom of the Crystal Skull wasn't very good. I have it sitting right here. Yeah. Here is that
you
garbage.
Have it on. You have
Here's
it
that
on DVD.
Garbage. I'm a completionist. I bought an Indiana Jones box set, but it only came with the original 3. So then I said, well, I guess I'll just have to get this. It was $2. The box set was $10, and this was $2.
Okay, good.
Mega Replay sells DVDs for very cheap.
Yes.
Because nobody likes physical media anymore, and it's really sad, but it's good for me because I get them for really cheap. I bought like the 3 original Spider-Mans, like the original Spider-Man trilogy and the original X-Men trilogy, for a total cost of $8.
Wow,
they are cheap.
That's insane.
So yeah, go buy or even just like Goodwill, like go buy used DVDs, because it's like you can pick up like movies for like 50 cents.
It's crazy.
I mean, and they like work. Like I found like the Avengers for like 50 cents.
Wow. Blockbuster.
It's like
movies.
Major films. So guys, keep getting physical media because it's great. Because what happens when the internet goes out? You got a shelf.
Exactly.
So yeah.
When the world ends.
But moving on, new release date news. Mortal Kombat and Venom Let There Be Carnage have each been pushed back a week. So Mortal Kombat has been pushed back from April 16th to April 23rd. And Venom Let There Be Carnage has been pushed back from September 17th to September 24th.
Oh, wow.
Which means that I won't be able to see Venom Let There Be Carnage on my birthday.
In theaters.
That's unfortunate.
I knew you were hoping.
I was not. So... No, I mean, I probably would have went and seen it, but, like, it wasn't, I was like, oh, I'm so hyped for Venom 2.
First one was so good. I can't wait.
Yeah. Ugh. But not too much to talk about here other than you won't get to hear us talk about Mortal Kombat for 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks.
Yeah, sad. Sad.
You seen the 1995 film?
No, I haven't.
It's on Peacock. It's on Peacock.
Oh.
I watched the first 5 minutes of it.
You watched the first 5 minutes?
Yeah.
You just turned it off because it was that bad?
Well, I also had something else to do, but it was a yikes. It was a big yikes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll definitely watch it before.
Yeah.
This new Mortal Kombat comes out. Because I mean it's on Peacock, and Peacock is a free streaming service. So like.
Oh, I didn't even know it's free. I thought I had to.
Yeah. No, they got a bunch of stuff. Like they have all of Judd Apatow's films.
Hashtag not an advertisement.
Not. Yes.
I wish.
But yeah. Okay, so some big news here. Sylvester Stallone is developing a Rocky prequel TV show.
Yes.
Atticus, thoughts?
I've only seen the Creed movies. I have not seen the Rocky movies, which I need to, and I'm planning on doing that on my way to Florida. But I think that would be really interesting.
They're all on HBO Max, all 6 of them.
Yes. I am hyped for that prequel TV show.
Yeah, so my thoughts are in Rocky says that he's been fighting for 10 years, so maybe we see young Rocky. I hope it's not Sylvester Stallone de-aged, because that would be unfortunate. But maybe we see young Rocky doing his fighting and stuff, building himself up. What I would personally like to see is his trainer Mick and see what Mick was doing back, because Mick says that he was boxing in the 20s and 30s back when it was anything goes. So I'd love to see let's see what Mick was doing 30, 40 years before he trained Rocky.
Yeah.
That's personally what I would like to see out of this. But sure, more Sly.
That would be
more Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just really want to move on to this next story because I'm so freaking hyped about it. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Knives Out 2 and 3 are going to be... And 3. They are. There is a $450 million deal between Rian Johnson and Netflix to get Knives Out 2 and 3 as Netflix originals over the next couple years. Daniel Craig is be coming back to play Detective Benoit Blanc in both films, and it will follow Benoit Blanc on completely different cases in both 2 and 3.
I suspect foul play.
Got the donut.
I cannot wait.
Inside of a donut. I am obsessed with this movie. I don't have it on myself right now because I'm actually letting someone borrow it. But
interesting.
But I love this movie. I love this movie so much. Interesting though, Amazon. So they sold the streaming rights to Amazon Prime, but I wonder if Netflix will try and buy those back so that way they'll get all 3.
Ooh.
I hope that these get a theatrical release as well, maybe a concurrent release, because I'd love to see these in theaters. But if they are just originals, then that's fine, I guess. But I'm so hyped that we're getting not just Knives Out 2, but Knives Out 3. We still don't know. They said they're doing a 10-episode TV show about the great grandma.
Oh, really?
That was supposed to be a thing. Still no word.
Huh.
But
I don't know what they would do with that though.
I don't care. If Rian Johnson's writing it, then Knives Out is the best thing written on paper since the Bible.
Wow, really?
Probably better.
Oh, oh wow.
So
It's just very
if I'm being
interesting.
completely honest, Knives Out is the greatest script written, greatest thing written on paper in history. It is my favorite screenplay of all time.
Wow,
It
that
is
is
not the
on the
best
high
screenplay of all
honors.
time because the best screenplay of all time is Back to the Future, but it is my favorite screenplay of all time.
Very interesting. Very,
They
very
legit show
interesting.
Back to the Future at like script writing classes. It is a perfect screenplay. Like it's
Interesting.
Back to the Future's dope. But I'm so hyped about this. Who do we want them to cast? Because like we're gonna get new cast members other than Daniel Craig.
Right.
Do we think that we see more? I would love to see Laura Dern come in
Ooh.
because we've seen. I like. I want Laura Dern and Oscar Isaac in this because they obviously both worked with Ryan on Last Jedi.
Right.
But yeah, Laura Dern, Oscar Isaac. I would love. Who else do I want to see in this? I want to see Anthony Mackie in this.
He'd be great. He would be great. Um.
Um, I want to see Saoirse Ronan and Timothy Chalamet in this.
Ooh. Ooh.
Um,
Good.
like, because I love both of them.
Yeah. You're just picking all
Um,
your favorite actors right now.
yeah, honest. Yeah, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
No, let's see, like Michael B. Jordan and Anthony Mackie as brothers, and then Timothy Chalamet and Saoirse Ronan are like a young couple. Then Laura Dern's like the like older mom, and then Will Smith is Anthony Mackie and Michael B. Jordan's dad.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm spitballing here. And then like
Keep
somebody
going.
gets murdered, like the granddaddy of them all is going
Uh-huh.
to be um 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 um
You got this?
Anthony Hopkins. Did we just say that at the same time, or who'd you say?
Oh, I was saying Mark Hamill.
Oh, no. So then,
It was the only
no.
you were talking about Oscar Isaac and then Laura Dern and Ryan Johnson. I was like, huh, Mark Hamill.
So wait. So okay. Anthony Hopkins is like the great granddaddy. Then Mark Hamill and Laura Dern are like a couple, and then
Uh-huh.
they parented Timothy Chalamet, and then he's dating Saoirse Ronan, and then I don't know where Will Smith and Michael B.
Yeah. How did
Jordan
they?
and
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie factor in. Maybe
Next door neighbors.
yes, absolutely. And maybe they're the ones who hired Benoit Blanc, and he was the and like to investigate this family. And then
Huh.
like Will Smith and Daniel Craig, like Will Smith's like, I think that I could actually take this, right? And then Will Smith's like trying to help out Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig, and then Benoit Blanc's like, you don't have enough donut knowledge, so I'm gonna sit you aside. And then Anthony
Uh-huh.
Mackie and Michael B. Jordan are just like these posh bros in the back, like, I think Daddy screwed up.
Oh
So
my
then,
god.
and then
That would be
they're investigating this family of Anthony Hopkins, Mark Hamill, Laura Dern, their daughter,
Mark Hamill.
Timothy Chalamet. Or wait, no, that's wrong. Their daughter, Saoirse Ronan, who is dating Timothy Chalamet.
Yes.
Point in case, hire me. So,
Screenplay right here. Right here.
anyways, that's my spitball pitch.
That was a good pitch.
As you can tell, I'm very passionate about
Couldn't
Knives
have
Out.
given a better one.
I love this movie. Spider-Man is not it the movie. Referring to Knives Out. So Knives Out, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and It's a Wonderful Life are my three favorite movies of all time. So I will see any and all things related to them. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite movie of all time, with Knives Out as a close second. It's a
Yeah.
Wonderful Life is the greatest film ever made, in my opinion.
I still haven't
Like
seen it all the way through. So
really,
I
it's
need to
so
watch it.
good. It's
Yeah.
so good. Because that's generally a question. Like, what's your favorite movie and what's the best movie? My favorite movie, Spider Verse. Best movie, It's a Wonderful Life. What would you go?
I don't know. I've been asked this question for many years and I still don't have an answer. There's so many movies that I have, like, it depends on the genre, you know? I have
For
movies
sure.
that are my favorite in every genre. It's crazy. And I don't know which one would be the best in my opinion, you know.
I mean, obviously, like the book answers are like The Godfather, Lawrence of Arabia, Citizen Kane. Like people would say like
Shawshank.
Pulp Fiction, yeah, Shawshank, The Departed. Um,
Right.
so I mean, you obviously have your book answers, but for me, it's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
But yes, I Knives Out everything. So moving on,
Do you have a
Leica.
Knives Out poster? You should get a Knives Out poster for your
You should,
studio.
you should. Once we're able to go back in person, I really want to build out the studio.
Yes.
AKA a spare room in our basement. Okay, so Leica, you heard of them?
Nope.
They are the studio behind the stop motion films Coraline, Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings, among others.
Ooh, Kubo and the Two Strings was a decent movie. I liked that movie.
What did they just do last year with like Hugh Jackman was in it? It's about like this big like monkey dude. And it got
Lost.
something. Crap. What is this called? It got nominated for Best Animated Feature.
It was boring, honestly. A little boring.
I'm still mad because I don't know what. No, what's it? I look up Leica and it comes with this freaking Russian dog. Why do I care? Like
nobody
Leica
cares.
Company. Jeez, is it really this hard? Missing Link.
Yes.
So the movies they've done is Coraline, Paranorman, The Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings, and Missing Link. Their next project was announced, but it is not an animated film. They are doing a live-action thriller, and it is going to be based off of the novel 17.
Huh.
Which I've never heard of.
Me neither.
But what do you think about Leica venturing into live action and making a thriller of all things, considering they were generally making children's movies before?
I don't know. I mean, The Missing Link was kind of a boring movie. I didn't really like it as much. But I think that,
they have a very stylized way of telling stories.
Right, yeah.
So seeing that translated into a film will definitely be interesting. And like I don't think they've made a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them, like Box Trolls, is like a couple of them are like iffy.
Right.
But I don't think they've made a blatantly bad film. So until they make a bad film, sure, I'll go watch this live action thriller. I mean, I know nothing of what it's about, but I enjoy the way they present stories. So sure.
I do
here,
like claymation. So like those are one of my favorite types of movies.
Sure,
I like them a lot.
Okay. Let's see. So here is. Well, there's two different movies called 17, or books called 17. So I'm not going to read either because I'll probably just pick the wrong one and then people will get mad at me on the interwebs. So
interwebs, is that a thing now? I don't think it should be.
Okay, I'm sorry. Moving on. We got some DC news. The Trench
DC.
and New Gods. So the Trench being the spinoff of Aquaman, that horror spinoff, and the New Gods is basically like Eternals but DC. Both been pulled off the slate.
Oh,
not happening anymore.
Dang.
Wow, I'm so shocked that DC announced movies and then said we aren't making these movies anymore. This is the most shocking thing I've heard all year. Scratch that, in my entire lifetime. No, this was predictable.
I was gonna say it's pretty shocking.
I was surprised they hadn't canceled these sooner. After Aquaman, they said we're making a movie called The Trench, and then 3 years later, we're like, "Hey, you still making that movie?" And they're like, nope. "We forgot about that." No, we aren't. Nope. Yeah, like whatever.
I haven't even heard about it. Honestly,
I wasn't attached to this in any way. So sure. I mean, we got Zatanna announced last week.
Yes.
Which is going to be written and directed by promising young woman writer and director Emerald Fennell. So I'm super hyped about that because that movie deserves every award. But yeah, like I really hope that one doesn't get pulled off the slate similarly.
neither.
But I can't trust DC right now.
Right. Yeah.
They announce things and they pull things off. They do not have a consistent schedule. I still do not believe that the Flash movie is happening until I see a trailer. And then I still probably won't believe it's happening until I physically see it in a movie theater.
Fan-made trailer,
It, like, I
gotta see it.
I can't, like, I don't know, DC's just so inconsistent right now. So inconsistent. So this doesn't surprise me. It's, whatever. It was expected.
We'll hope it sees the day of light,
Yeah. Final news piece before we get into our trailer reviews, TV reviews, movie reviews of the week. Atticus, you'll be liking this. Jordan Peele, director of Get Out and Us. Speaking of, I'm watching Get Out for the first time this week. Super hyped.
Yes, but not with
He has announced his next film. We do not have a title, but it will be starring Steven Yeun, star of Minari. I love Minari to death.
I hope it's a horror movie.
One of my favorite. Oh yeah, it's Jordan Peele. It's gonna be a horror thriller. He said that. Steven Yeun, also the voice of the main character in Invincible, which recently premiered on Amazon Prime. And I know people have been really liking that, based off of the comic book series by Robert Kirkman, who is the writer of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
So I think it's all. I can't remember if they're releasing it weekly or if it's all available right now. But Steven Yeun, voice of the main character in that, just got a Best Actor nomination for Minari, which again, like Atticus, you need to see Minari. Like there's 8 Best Picture nominees. You can watch them.
I definitely will try to watch.
Yeah, you better. I'm gonna freaking kill you. No. So Atticus, I wish you guys could see Atticus's face, because his face was literally the embodiment of surprised Pikachu face.
Dang.
I
was like,
what? I love Steven Yeun. Jordan Peele. I haven't seen either of his films yet, but I'm watching Get Out. I'll probably watch Us right after I watch Get Out.
Please,
I'm gonna watch his movies, and I'm super excited. Also, first, one of his films that will not have an African American lead, but instead, obviously, going with an Asian lead. So still a person of color represented in his work. So again, and he's producing Candyman, Nia DaCosta's Candyman. So the director and other collection, the director of this year's Candyman film, Nia DaCosta, she's going to be directing Captain Marvel 2.
Oh, really?
So that's her. And Jordan Peele.
Jordan
Peele, I think, has a screenwriting credit for Candyman and is producing it.
Oh wow! I can't wait for Captain Marvel 2.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna get like Miss Marvel in it as well. It's gonna be so hype. Okay, so what would you like to see for Jordan Peele's next piece of work here?
Obviously, I want a horror. Obviously, he's gonna do a horror, but in terms of like story, I don't know. I don't know. He could do so many things.
Yeah, and honestly, I trust him.
Me too. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of his films yet, but
I cannot wait till you see them so we can talk about them on the podcast.
Yeah.
That'll take a long time. Go on for hours.
Yeah. But before we go on for hours, we will take an ad break, and then we will start talking about trailers and Falcon and Winter Soldier, Godzilla vs. Kong. Lots to talk about. Also, we're going to be playing some clips that Thomas sent in to us. So we will see you guys in just a minute. We'll be back right after this. Okay, guys, Trevor here from Teen Stock Movies. I'm interrupting the show, okay? But it's important, because I got to tell you about Anchor. So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's how I do it, and I like easy. First of all, it's free. I also like free. There's creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole ton of other ones. Which is also good, because it's easy. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's why I'm recording this ad, because I like money and I hope you do too. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Okay, let's go back to the show. You're probably done hearing from me. Okay, bye. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. It is the show. Be our guest.
Were you trying to do a Ratatouille impression?
No, it's freaking like Lemieux from Beauty and the Beast. Be our guest. So be our guest. Put our podcast to the test.
Oh, that was off the
I'm
cuff,
dropping
people.
dimes.
That was off the cuff.
So we were going to be talking about the trailers for this week. We got a trailer for the new Jason Statham led Guy Ritchie action movie Wrath of Man. We got a trailer for Star Wars The Bad Batch and a trailer for Spiral The Book of Saw. So as I mentioned previously, Thomas did send in some audio clips, so that way, he could still be a part of the show. And Atticus, you can do that for future shows if you cannot make it. So Thomas is going to give his thoughts on all three trailers, then Atticus and I will go into all three trailers, and Thomas also has stuff sent in for Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Godzilla vs. Kong, so we'll get to that then. But let's go ahead and throw to Thomas. Wait, okay. Now we're going to throw to... I freaking pressed the wrong button. Nice. So, Atticus, guess what I just did?
What?
You want to know what I just did?
Yes, I did. Yes, I do.
Okay,
yeah.
So I clicked the wrong button and got rid of our intro music. So while I let Thomas talk, we're gonna go fix that. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So now we're so good at this, and that's not gonna get edited out. That's gold. So now we are gonna throw to Thomas with his thoughts about the trailers. Thomas, over to you.
Hello, sorry I couldn't be there this week, but Trevor did ask me to send in some of my thoughts on the trailers that came out this week. So let's jump right in with The Wrath of Man, the new Guy Ritchie film. And Guy Ritchie, the director, who's a bit hit or miss for me. I like The Nice Guys and Snatch and his most recent film, The Gentleman. But then he also did direct the Sherlock Holmes films with Robert Downey Jr., which I'm not really a fan of. But this one seems more along the veins of the ones I do like, mixing that crime with the comedy. And yeah, it looks like Guy Ritchie doing another Guy Ritchie film. So I'm looking forward to it. The Bad Batch trailer is the new Star Wars show that is coming to Disney Plus. And it's one that I'm not very interested in, to be honest. I've not seen any of the Star Wars animated shows. And this one, I don't know whether I'll watch it. If we do reviews for it on this show, I might check it out. But, it looks fine. But just personally, it's not a project that I'm very invested in. And then finally, we saw the Spiral trailer, the new Saw reboot, prequel, whatever. I don't know, something to do with that. Anyway, the Saw films are films that I really enjoy for no reason, really. They're not exactly the height of cinema, but they're guilty pleasures of mine, and it feels like another Saw film. Chris Rock seems to be a bit overacting in some of the bits in the trailer. Hopefully he has a bit more of a toned down performance in the actual film. But yeah, I like how they're leaning into the procedural side of it. I think that's an interesting viewpoint. And it's a film that I'm looking forward to as a fan of the Saw franchise.
All right. Those were Thomas's thoughts on the trailers. You guys didn't see. Nobody will see. But Atticus and I, we were being comedic geniuses, video only.
We were pretty animated. Yeah.
Where you can find us on tour. Never. So it would be awesome to go like an improv comedy tour.
That would be really cool. I think
we'd probably bomb, but like.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'm glad you have confidence. So Atticus, we just heard Thomas's thoughts.
Yes.
Let's give our own thoughts. Let's kick off with Wrath of Man. So, what were your initial takeaways from this trailer?
I thought it looked pretty. I thought it looked like a dope action movie. Definitely need context, because like I don't know if it's gonna be like a comedy or just like a serious movie. I don't know, but it looks kind of funny in the trailer.
Right. I mean, and Guy Ritchie generally does blend crime and comedy with action and everything. Jason Statham looked actually pretty good in it, if I'm being completely honest. I enjoyed Jason Statham's performance in that trailer. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm excited for this movie. I actually thought you talked about context, but I think that this actually did a good job of not giving too much away.
Yeah, that's true. That made me want to, like, the thing I was talking about was just like wanting more my questions answered. So
Which is its
make
job
me want to watch the film.
as the trailer. It definitely is selling the trailer. Like, the trailer hit over 1 million views on MGM's YouTube channel. So it's, I mean, people are definitely interested in this, and like it was on nobody's radar. I don't think. Nobody really had known too much about this film, but I mean, it's May 7th. We're getting this in a month. And we will, I mean, likely be talking about it. Depends who can make it out to theaters to see it. Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for it. Like Thomas said, it definitely looks very Guy Ritchie, which I'm here for. He has a fun style of making movies. It doesn't work for me all the time, but it's always fun. He has a nice, like, even just in the music choice in this trailer, you do kind of get his style and aesthetic and feel to his films. But Atticus, overall, what score out of 10 do you give this trailer?
Ooh, I'd have okay. I'm gonna have to say definitely 8.
Yeah, I completely agree. 8.
I want to watch it.
I want to see it. The scene with the music and the guns working together was actually a genius piece of like
the guns
trailer
working together.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
That was a good statement. I like that.
Thank you. But no, like it worked like really, really well. And it was actually a kind of genius piece of trailer making.
Yes.
Combining those scenes. But
I did want to say, yes. I did enjoy the Sherlock Holmes movies. Like that was the first Guy Ritchie movies I saw, and I thought those were fantastic, both of them.
Okay.
Probably the only one there.
Moving on, we got Star Wars: The Bad Batch. So Thomas was not too hyped for this. We are going to make Thomas watch this for the podcast. Yes. We're also going to make him watch Clone Wars eventually. But this is essentially Clone Wars Season 8. Let's be honest.
I think so. Yeah.
It's, I mean, we saw the Bad Batch, Clone Force 99 in Season 7.
Yes.
This is continuing their story. I'm very excited to see stuff. I love the era of post Revenge of the Sith, pre A New Hope. Like that 20 years, like they're referred to as the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what we're getting with Kenobi too.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're getting with Kenobi. We had it with Rebels. I'm super, super excited to get more of this era. In the trailer, we saw Rex back. So hyped about that. We saw Tarkin in there.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Big thing though, we saw Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian Season 2. And that is Ming-Na Wen coming back to voice her.
Yeah.
Were you excited to see Fennec in this? And how much role do you think she'll have in the show?
I was a little bit confused. I was like, wait, I think you pointed it out, like, as we were watching the trailer together. You pointed it out, and I was like, oh yeah, that's yeah. It sounds like Ming-Na Wen. But I think she's gonna be cool. I liked her in Mando, and
for sure.
About her role, I don't know. I think she could have a pretty big role. Trying to help, the Bad Batch. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens.
So the interesting thing here. So this comes out May 4th.
Yeah.
We still don't know if it's going to be weekly or if they're just going to drop it all for us to binge watch.
Mm-hmm.
But the only other Star Wars content we have this year is the Book of Boba Fett.
Ooh, right.
So I wonder if we will get some setup for Book of Boba Fett. We might
That'd
even
be
see
so cool.
Boba Fett in this.
That'd be so cool.
At this point, he would be what? So in Attack of the Clones, he was like about 12, and they aged double. So in Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith, that's 3 years, so that's 6. So he'd be 18. This is like
Mhm.
a year after Revenge of the Sith, I'm assuming. So he'd be like 18 or 20.
Yeah.
So we'd see like
A
like
young
college
Boba.
aged Boba Fett,
Oh, that'd be so cool
like
to see.
starting his career as a bounty hunter.
That'd be so cool.
I'd be very interested. And this is young Fennec too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, it's
Like-
young Fennec, right?
20 years before Mando.
Oh wow.
Because Mando, well, let's think about this. Mando is 7 years after Return of the
After-
Jedi.
Right.
Return
Wait,
of the
7?
Jedi is, yeah. Return of the Jedi is 4 years after A New Hope. So that makes
Right.
11. And then A New Hope is 19 years after Revenge of the Sith. So that's 30. So
Oh.
this is about 30
Wow.
years, actually. 30
Wow.
years before Mando. So this is very young Fennec.
Yeah, and then very old Fennec and Mando.
Or who knows? He could be like 20 here, 50. You call him 50 old, you're going to discriminate. Ageist.
Yes. 50 old 50 years old.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it was fun. I don't know what the little girl is doing. Or
Yeah,
boy, I
was
couldn't
confused
tell.
on that.
But whatever. Overall, thoughts on the trailer? And what is your ranking or rating?
Definitely gonna give it a solid 9 because I love the Clone Wars universe. Well, not Clone Wars universe, but the style of art
Right.
and storytelling.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a 9.
I'm at a solid 8. There's still a bit more unanswered that I would like to see in the trailer before the show. Just as far as more setup. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, it got me more excited for the show. I mean, we're getting it exactly a month from when we're recording this.
Oh wow, yeah.
May 4th. Today, when we're recording this, it's April 4th.
May the 4th.
So, yeah. Of course, we're gonna watch this. Thomas, you're gonna have to review this.
Yes, please.
We're doing it on the show. It isn't please. We're making him.
We're gonna be like that. Okay.
We are gonna be like that.
More like you're gonna be
Last trailer before we get into some shows and movies. Spiral from the Book of Saw. Atticus, initial takeaways.
My initial takeaway was spooky, creepy. Makes me want to soil myself already, and I haven't even seen it. But yeah, I haven't seen any of the Saw movies. I've seen bits and pieces.
For those who aren't too intellectual, Atticus just said he wanted to pee himself while watching the trailer. Moving on.
It's actually the other one, but yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I did not count myself as one of those intellectuals.
I was going to say, talking about intellectual people. Come on now.
Yeah, I was saying those amongst you, not amongst me and the listeners. Okay, well, I just kind of screwed that up, but moving on. Sorry, listeners.
It was a good trailer. It made me want to, jump out of my seat and be like, that's some crazy stuff going on. I hope they make it through whatever they're going through,
Why am I such an idiot?
I don't know. I think you're just made that way.
Fair.
But yeah.
I thought the trailer was fine. Really weird pace. It was a long trailer. It kind of set up too much for me. And really weird pacing and editing. I hope it's not like that in the film because it really kind of took me out of it. Some nice, definitely creepy scenes that were a lot of fun. Tom is saying that he loves the Saw movies. That's sure. But yeah, I mean, I do agree with Thomas. Like Chris Rock, I was not a massive fan. It's also weird just seeing him do something dramatic. So maybe that is just how he acts dramatically, and we're not used to it. But it was very over the top for me. And Samuel Jackson, dude, just you're 80. So like,
80. And I bet you're gonna say that that's not old either, right?
Legit, look up. Well, No, it's old.
Okay.
So Samuel Jackson age. Oh, he's 72. Not bad.
Oh.
But no, like I mean, props to him for still making movies, but like with him still doing action movies, like even in like Captain Marvel, you could see with any fight scenes where he was de-aged, he was moving slow.
Yeah, right.
So
right,
I'm
right.
hoping they don't give him too much as far as like set pieces to do in this. Just so that way we don't see Olden gonna try and run. But overall, I mean, I thought it was fine. We'll probably review it for the show, I guess. But I probably wouldn't see the movie if not for the podcast.
Right.
What's your final rating? And do you want to see this movie?
My final rating, since like it did kind of creep me out with that one jump scare with the pig, I would have to say I would have to give it like a 6.5 or a 7. And I
No, I'm at a default. Go ahead. Yeah,
and I would like to see it.
I'm half and half on seeing it. I don't care either way. I give it like a solid 5.5 or 6.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good enough. Like, I mean, it definitely laid out what the film was about, maybe a bit too much.
And I can see that now.
I mean, overall, I feel very indifferent about this. It was fine.
Yeah.
Also, horror is just not my has never been my favorite genre, so obviously it isn't going to work as well for me.
It has been my favorite genre, so might work for me.
Let's get into something that we both love, though.
Oh, okay.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That was a good segue.
Thank you. And now we are actually going. Now we're actually going to throw it over to Thomas once again, and he will get to give his thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Thomas, over to you.
So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3. And to starters, this is probably the best episode of the series so far. There's a lot more plot in it, and it does progress the story forward a lot more. It's the first appearance of Sharon Carter, and the way they took her character the direction from Civil War, I think is very interesting, and I'm excited to see where her character develops throughout the series. Is she the power broker? That's a question that a lot of people have been asking. I think the most obvious answer, yes. I think that is probably where they're taking the character, but we'll see. It was also the first proper appearance, I guess, of Baron Zemo, and the way he is one of my favorite MCU villains, and he's not really a villain in this episode as of yet. He's working with the heroes, but I really do enjoy him in here. He's so charismatic. And yeah, I'm loving to see him back. I really am. John Walker didn't have as much to do, and I guess neither really did Sam or Bucky. They were sort of pushed. I mean, Sam and Bucky, obviously, the show is named after them. They still had a lot to do, but they didn't have as much to do in this episode or as much fleshing out as they did in the previous two. But yeah, anyway, John Walker didn't have as much to do, and the moments we did see him, he is sort of slipping into that more villainous role compared to what he was in the second episode. But again, we don't really know where his character is going. A lot of people do think that he will be the villain of the series. Whether he will be, that is a question. But I think the way the direction his character is going in now is pretty interesting. I'm excited to see where he goes. The super soldiers as well. We got a bit more with them, and they seem like they don't feel like the villains. They are presented as the villains as of yet, but to me, they don't feel like the villains, and I don't think they will end up being the main antagonists of the series. I mentioned Bucky and Sam earlier on, and there was one scene I really did enjoy, the first opening scene where Bucky is explaining the prison break to Sam, and then Baron Zemo just shows up because Bucky's already done it. That is a scene that I thought was very funny and really did enjoy. So overall, as I said, I really did enjoy this episode. It really progressed the plot forward, and I'm very excited to see where it goes from here.
All right. So those were Thomas's thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Atticus, check the chat.
Yes.
Okay. So, so thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 3. Immediate thoughts. Quick trivia. Do you remember what this episode was called?
It was called Sharon Carter.
It was not. It was called Power Broker.
Dang it.
You dummy. So
Wow, thanks.
did you say aw thanks?
Yeah.
Oh gee, thanks, buddy. We're gonna be chums forever.
Oh my gosh, no.
Okay, you know what really bothered me? Sorry.
What?
But in Hardy Boys, like the mystery
yeah.
series, not like the wrestling tag team, but like
Yeah.
Hardy Boys, like the mystery series.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So they had their friend named Chet,
Uh-huh.
who's basically his only character development was that he was fat.
His only personality trait is he's fat.
He was fat, he was dumb, and he liked to eat food. That's just
interesting.
all I remember.
Probably why he's fat.
But thanks, Atticus. We needed that explanation. But anyways, they like very consistently overused the word chum for him. Like, yeah, our chum Chet. And it really bothered me.
Interesting.
Yeah. One negative about those books. Other than that, really liked them.
Yeah. Okay.
Called him chum a lot though.
Chum.
Not a good word. So Atticus, immediate thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3.
My immediate thoughts. It was definitely my favorite so far.
Yeah.
Like Thomas said, it was progressed in the plot. I especially like the part where they were talking with that one lady and Sam got a call from his sister, and then that whole action sequence I liked a lot. I also liked how Zemo was pushing Bucky's buttons and trying to, deprogram him. Wait, how would that work? He was programmed, then he was deprogrammed, and then he was trying to deprogram his deprogramming. Yeah, that works.
Sure. As we already established, you're the intellectual on the show.
Yes. And the good-looking one, obviously.
Oh, I got a face for radio. Okay.
Singer.
My immediate. That's fair. My immediate thoughts are best episode.
Yes.
Loved the way Sharon Carter was utilized. I loved the way Zemo was utilized. Daniel Bruhl slayed this episode. He absolutely killed it.
Yes.
Overall, it was just a fun episode. Also, Mad Rapport. So freaking hyped. Atticus, do you know what Mad Rapport is?
No.
Mad Rapport is X-Men. Mad Rapport is this like crime island in like this, in like by like the Philippines and whatever. And that is where like Wolverine goes in there and he has like a secret identity patch where he wears like an eye patch and he wears like this white suit, right? I could probably like grab. Well, I guess the listeners won't see it. I'll show you afterwards. I got lots of comics with it. I have like I'm an obsessive X-Men collector. But like Wolverine has like a secret identity. Like Kate Pride will go there consistently and like she'll do like dealings with there. So like Psylocke, like it's an X-Men comics thing. It was created for the X-Men comics, and it's X-Men.
Huh, wonder if
this is
an
X-Men thing. My dream is that we see Wolverine as Patch, and he's the power broker.
Ooh.
On Mad Rapport.
Ooh. That would be dope. That would be so cool.
But it won't happen. But like okay.
What,
so
did Hugh Jackman's contract run out or something?
Well, no. I mean, they're recasting everybody.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But like, this was made before WandaVision. If WandaVision wasn't going to do any mutant stuff, this isn't going to. So, but yeah, I'm so hyped about Mad Rapport.
Yes,
so
now that you told me that, I am too.
But no, overall is really fun. But let's look character by character. What did we think of Sam Wilson in this episode?
I I liked him a lot, especially like in that when they were breaking out Zemo. That was the funny part. I did like how he and Bucky seemed more like they were friends more than best frenemies. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I am a bit curious as to where they're going with the thing with his sister, because they spent a lot of time setting that up, and it doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere right now.
Right.
So I'm hoping they address that a bit more. But overall, Sam was really fun in this. I'm loving Anthony Mackie. He's been killing it. But not too much development in the Sam. There's the fun stuff on Madripoor, but not too much. But let's talk about Bucky.
Yeah. It was more of like a
without getting into the ending of the episode, because we will talk about that separately.
Okay.
But let's talk about Bucky in this episode.
Mm-hmm. I mean, overall thoughts. I think that I really liked how Bucky was, not liked, but like saw interesting was how Bucky was really struggling, keeping Zemo in check and, not letting him get to him. And I thought that was really interesting. And I thought this was a very good episode for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all of his interactions with Zemo were very interesting because, like, if you think about it, like this dude basically, like, rearranged your entire life and had you basically as his slave, but you didn't know what you were doing.
Right.
So also for Bucky just to have the guts to break him out of prison, which breaking the prison breakout was so fun.
Yeah.
It was such a fun scene.
Hypothetically speaking, breaks out Zemo. Right.
All right. Sorry, I was confused as to where you were going with that. But no, like the interactions, and like we can go ahead and talk about Zemo. Like Zemo, like Daniel role played him perfectly as far as like the I might double cross you, but I will probably not, but I might actually, So like thoughts on Zemo throughout this episode, because this was the first time we've really seen him fully since Captain America: Civil War.
I loved his performance because I thought that he was a really good antagonist in Civil War.
I thought you were going to talk about in this episode, because I don't really think he's the antagonist.
Oh no, in Civil War.
Would you say he's the protagonist in this? Like, who is the antagonist right now? Is it the Flag Smashers? Is it U.S. Agent? Is it Zemo? Like, who is our antagonist?
It's kind of hard, honestly. I think it would be the organization.
Power Broker.
Yeah. But yeah, on Zemo's character, I think that it was like I liked how it was going from, oh, I'm gonna betray you, I just betrayed you, I'm running away, oh, I'm coming back to save you guys. It's showing how he's like changing and stuff like that. Or he's just, motivated by what he wants. But yeah, I also liked his mask, which is
the comic book accurate mask.
Yeah,
so hyped, hyped. I love when they do comic accurate things. Yes. It just makes me happy. I'm sad that it didn't get super glued to his face, but maybe we get that later. That's the comics he fell into. He was fighting Captain America in like the 40s, and like Captain America knocked him into like this giant vast of like it was something X. That he was developing that was supposed to like do something in the war, knocked him into that, and like all of his like clothes and the mask that he was wearing was like stuck onto him and still is today.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Dude must smell like terrible. So
can't wash his clothes.
You get inside the washing machine. So but yeah, let's talk about Sharon Carter. So, as Thomas mentioned, there are theories that Sharon Carter is the power broker.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's true?
The way she was so in touch with a lot of the, the community of Madripoor,
Right.
I thought that was a little like, oh, you know, maybe she's just lived here a long time. But now that theory comes to my attention, maybe she is the power broker. I don't know.
I don't completely buy it.
You have to see it for yourself.
Yeah, I'm not sure at this point. My thoughts on the power. I'm still not entirely sure what they're doing with the power broker. Overall, though, I loved Sharon Carter in this.
Me too.
She was really, really well done. I love where they're taking her story post Civil War. Like, I love this idea of her. She stuck up for everybody, but the Avengers weren't there for her, so she had to go out on her own.
Yes.
I really, really loved that aspect of the character. But like overall, like the chemistry between Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Daniel Bruhl, and Emily Van Camp was incredible. And I love how now we're we're really picking up now. Like we're really getting into the thick of it. Like we're really taking the story forward, and like we still have the Flag Smasher stuff. We don't know where that's going. There's so many moving pieces in this show. And we got some of them united with Zemo and Sharon Gardner now, but we still have so much more to explore. Right. I mean, we still have U.S. Agent.
The ending.
Huh?
I was about to say the ending.
Okay. We still have U.S. Agent.
Right.
We still have the Flag Smashers. We still have the thing with Sam back home. We still have everything with Bucky. There's a lot going on, and then we also have the Sending. Atticus, want to take us through it?
I knew instantly as soon as not Sebastian Stan, obviously,
Well, do we want to explain to them what it is first?
The beads, the Wakandan beads.
I was going to say we got Io.
Yes.
We got Io. Super excited that we got Io. And she wants Zemo. But yeah, no, really cool with all the Wakandan stuff. I'm assuming they knew each other from his White Wolf days. But like, I'm so hyped that we're getting Io in the MCU. Because along with Okoye, like she's one of the main leaders of the Dora Milaje in the comics.
Yeah.
So that makes me very excited. That they are moving along with that aspect of the comics.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like. Do we go back to Wakanda?
That would be so cool. I would love to see that.
Jeez,
but
imagine if Chadwick Boseman shot something for this.
Dang, the waterfalls that would happen during watching this.
Because like we wouldn't know, they wouldn't tell us.
Right.
Man, imagine if Chadwick Boseman shot something for this.
That'd be incredible.
We got 3 episodes left. Could happen, especially with this going on. But like, I do think that we'll see Okoye.
Yes, Okoye is one of my favorite.
Maybe Shuri.
I thought it was gonna be Shuri at first, but then I was like, that's too big of a star cast. Like, I don't know. So
yeah. But overall, I'm so hyped for the rest of the series. First 2 episodes were allowed to set up, but this episode was phenomenal. 9.5 out of 10.
Wow. I can agree with that.
9.5 out of 10. Yeah. No, loved this episode. Really, really loved this episode. Super hyped to see where it's going. And this has been our review and discussion of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Atticus, want to get into Godzilla versus Kong?
Yes.
So a little context. You haven't seen any of the previous MonsterVerse films. So 2014's Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, or Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Nope.
I had not seen either of them before this week, but I binged watched all of them before I watched Godzilla vs. Kong.
Good for you.
I think it enhanced the viewing experience. Because there are, characters and storylines set up, like with Monarch and with Millie Bobby Brown's character and like her dad. Like it seems kind of irrelevant in this film. But that was set up in like Godzilla King of the Monsters. and Monarch, like, and like, you know, with Godzilla being like the king of the monsters, like they went through all that, and the movie titled King of the Monsters, and like we had all the stuff with Kong and him being on Skull Island and him being trapped there. That's all been set up. I know you said that you're probably going to, again, on HBO Max, watch them on your way to Florida.
Yes, that's a lot of movies that I need to watch on the way to Florida.
2014's Godzilla, great. Kong Skull Island, great. Godzilla King of the Monsters, yeah. I think on my letterbox I gave Godzilla 2014 4.5 stars out of 5. So which is equivalent to 9 of 10. I gave Kong Skull Island 4 stars out of 5, equivalent to 8 of 10. I gave Godzilla King of the Monsters 2 stars out of 5, which is equivalent to 4 of 10.
Oh wow.
So not a massive fan of Godzilla King of the Monsters. Huh?
9.5 out of 10.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Because it's 4.5 stars out of 5, which is equivalent to 9 of 10. I love 2014's Godzilla and Kong Skull Island. I really, really love those movies. So yeah, but let's get into our discussion on Godzilla versus Kong. But first, we will throw to Thomas. Don't know why I did a British accent, but Atticus, was it a good accent?
Yeah.
Okay, you can mute yourself. We will throw to Thomas for his thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong.
So, Godzilla versus Kong, the next installment in the MonsterVerse, which is a franchise I am not very interested in. I don't really enjoy any of the films. I guess Godzilla's the best of them, the 2014 one. The rest of them are sort of mediocre at best, and they're downright bad. Godzilla King of the Monsters is not a good film at all. And I guess you could call this a step up. It's a film where there's a lot of contrast. There's really great, really cool, well-directed action scenes, which is, I guess, what you're there to the movie saw. But there's also very bad and boring and irrelevant character interactions, which, you know, it's not the main point of the movie. The main point is see Godzilla beating up King Kong or vice versa. But it would still be nice to have those character interactions. I think it would make the film better and enhance the best to have characters you actually care about. I mentioned the fighting. A standout scene for me was the scene in the sea with boats, massive boats. I thought that was shown in the trailers a lot, and it was a great action scene. I really did. I just found fun. You know, it was fun to see King Kong and Godzilla fighting. This was a film with King Kong, I guess, was the main sort of monster here. A lot of the focus was on him compared to Godzilla, who was a bit sidelined, but you know, he did have a recent film, the more recent film of the two. Again, I said this at the start, it's not a film I'm a massive fan of. It's not really my cup of tea. It's not really the films that I would like to see, but you know, they're fun for what they are, and if you enjoy them, that's fine, because there is a lot to enjoy in them. But yeah, they're not really for me. But I thought this was okay. I'd give it probably maybe a 6.5 out of 10, just based off the monster action scenes alone.
All right, so those were Thomas's thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong. He is wrong, but we can move on. No, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. And he did make a lot of good points. I mean, when it boils down to it, it's a monkey and a lizard fighting each other. So it isn't the height of cinema.
Exactly.
But as I mentioned, I kind of love the MonsterVerse, so don't hold anything against me. But like I really do love the series. This definitely felt like King Kong's film.
Yes.
He was definitely the focus. You didn't really get any development with Godzilla, but that makes sense because you had 2014's Godzilla, and you had Godzilla King of the Monsters 2 years ago in 2019.
Yes.
Both of those are set in concurrent times. Kong Skull Island takes place in 1973, so that doesn't even take place in current time. So this is the first time we've even seen him in the series in modern day. So it makes sense that he would be more of the focus. And as far as the human stuff, I quite liked Rebecca Hall and like her, adopted daughter.
I did like that too.
I quite liked that. Millie Bobby Brown with the conspiracy theory guy and like her friend.
That was hilarious.
Like it was fine. It was set up a bit in Godzilla King of the Monsters, but like, that wasn't a great movie to begin with, so like I wasn't too attached to it.
Yeah.
But like it was fun. Like I didn't think anything about it was aggressively bad. The fight scenes were great. As we talked about earlier when talking about Thundercats, Adam Wingard knows how to direct action. Every fight scene in here was really, really well done. As you said, as Thomas said, the boat scene was amazing. I really liked how that was done. And like they really get you to care about Kong in this.
Yeah,
like your heart kind of goes with Kong. But then they do develop Godzilla as well when we get the reason why he was mad at Monarch, which was, all this stuff was set up kind of in previous films. But they were making Mecha Godzilla, which just like, from the Japanese films, like they did Mecha Godzilla, guys.
It's so
they
cool.
did it.
It's so cool.
Like they did Mecha Godzilla.
It's so cool.
Yeah. So Atticus, I'm curious as to your overall thoughts on this, because with this being your first film of the MonsterVerse and this essentially being like the end game of the MonsterVerse, this is what everything was building up to. What do you think going in kind of blindly into this movie?
Well, I did think it was a solid action movie, and I came in with it like open-minded. I didn't want to be like, oh, it's just another King Kong versus Godzilla movie. It's gonna be garbage. But I came in going like, this is gonna be entertaining, hopefully, and I came out of the experience with just a good review. I felt like it was a good movie. It had great, like as you said and Thomas said, great action scenes. I really did love the connection between Godzilla and King Kong, and then the Hollow Earth stuff, and then
that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like this is a beautiful movie to look at, just visually.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. It is a beautiful movie. I mean, it's sitting at 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is
better
solid
for the Godzilla King of Monsters movie, right?
Oh, by far. That got 43%. Now, I believe 2014's Godzilla got 77 and Kong Skull Island got 76. So this is right on par for those. Nice. But no, like I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, it's like the Hollow Earth stuff. That was beautiful. I like that, like, and that's another thing. Like the world building in this is really good. This was just a fun, entertaining movie. That actually had some like quality filmmaking in it. The thing is, so like Alexander Skarsgård's character, not too memorable, but like, I mean, Rebecca Hall and her adopted daughter, really enjoyed that stuff. Millie Bobby Brown, I don't know, I kind of wish they didn't bring along the friend. He was kind of there for no reason.
I liked him, but yeah, I can see how, yeah.
I would like to just see Millie Bobby Brown's character develop a bit more after what we saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters from her. And then Brian Tyree Henry, like, he was fine. He was a fun character. But yeah, like, I mean, overall, this definitely has its weak points.
Right.
I'm not going to not acknowledge that this has weak points, but it was a lot of fun.
Agreed.
This is just a plain fun movie. So I guess one pro, one con.
One pro, one con. I think one pro would have to be Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just Mecha Godzilla.
That's all you need to say.
Yep. A con. I did. Okay, what bothered me was that while King Kong and Godzilla were in the water fighting, they held their breaths for like a couple, like not a couple seconds, but in the like 30 seconds, and then they had to go up for air. But they have like huge lungs, and I was like,
fair.
can't they breathe for longer underwater? I don't know. So I was a little, disturbed by that. It was minor, but
and nitpicky.
Like, what?
Fair.
Yeah, but that, and I did not like the antagonist's motive. It was kind of weird.
It was. That's the human stuff that isn't great. For me, a pro would be this. Like, this is an action movie, but it's filled with a lot of heart and good filmmaking.
Yes,
at its core.
I loved when they learned that Godzilla can actually, or not Godzilla, King Kong can sign language to them.
Yeah, like there are some really nice moments in this film, and it's shot really well. The visual effects are stunning. Like this is a actually fairly well made film. A con for me is so like the human stuff, as I mentioned, Rebecca Hall, all of her stuff that works for me. Alexander Skarsgård, not so much. Like I was half and half on the human stuff. The villains are completely unmemorable.
Yeah,
I care less about them. Like they really had no impact other than we made Mechagodzilla.
Mm-hmm.
But like we didn't really need to see them. We could have just said these people made Mechagodzilla, and I'd be like, okay, cool, Mechagodzilla.
Sounds good.
So that was definitely my one major con. But as far as like pacing, that was solid. Which is usually one of my biggest like nitpicks, but like it was paced pretty well.
Yeah.
Paced very well. But what is your final rating for Godzilla vs. Kong?
I'd say I believe my first reaction, or my first when I was talking to you about it after I first watched it, I believe I gave it like a 7.5.
I think so, yeah.
And I think I'm gonna stick with that.
7.5. On my letterbox, I'm gonna stick with it here. 4 stars out of 5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Really like. Also, you can check me out on Letterboxd. Teens Talk Movies, all one word.
I should do that on my way to Florida. Just write a bunch of movies that I've seen.
Yeah, like you should just log everything in, and like
everything.
Not necessarily everything, but like I put what I could remember immediately in, and then I just threw in, extra stuff as I, remembered it.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh yeah, I did see that movie.
I remember seeing that movie.
That is our thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong. That is all we have for the show. Atticus, any closing thoughts before we let the people leave?
Football is life.
What was that?
Football is life.
Where did that come from?
Ted Lasso. You're welcome.
Oh, got it. What did you think of Ted Lasso? I haven't.
It was amazing. It's one of my favorite.
I'm a massive soccer fan.
It's hilarious. It's sad. It's amazing. I loved it. I hope
isn't that Jason Sudeikis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It was amazing. I highly suggest it to you.
Nice. But Atticus, I think that is all we have for the people on today's show.
I think so.
So let us close it out. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's show. Atticus and I, we really do appreciate it. I know we seem like, cold-hearted, cotton-headed niggy muggins, but we really, really do appreciate you guys listening to the show and all the support you guys give. You guys can email us at teenstalkmovies@yahoo.com. You can follow me on Letterboxd at Team Slot Movies. All one word. You can send in a voice message to the show. The link to do that will be in the description. And guys, stay safe, everybody. We will see you guys next week with more movie news, another Falcon and Winter Soldier review, talking about all the trailers throughout the week, and anything else that comes up in the world of movies. We will see you guys next week. Until then, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.